Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the boss, Mark Johnson here. Coming up this week in the Buffalo Stampede, how about the Super Senior Saturday for the Colorado men's and women's basketball teams? The men knock off number 2 Arizona. The women take care of Oregon State, celebrate their seniors on both squads. Plus, we're going to talk RMISA championships with ski coach Andy Leroy this week on the Buffalo Stampede.
The Buffs defense just blew that one. He's picked up and Colorado's putting it in a direction. Touchdown! Got the pylon. Touchdown. Bends off the defense with their body. Elevate and slam with the right hand.
It's a winner for the Buffs.
Ball is right in front. A couple of shot fakes to Chief Perry.
In, backs his way down against Larson, gets to the backdoor cut, and Barthélemy off 2 feet with the slam with 2 hands. Oh, it's over in Boulder. Down goes number 2, Colorado, with the win of the year as they take care of Arizona 79-63 as the students storm the court here in Boulder tonight.
Obviously, I'm proud of you. I don't know if you guys remember what Coach Greer said after the Stanford game. Does anybody remember that in the locker room? When you play like that, you can beat anybody. And we played like that tonight. I mean, your energy level on defense and your ability to take great shots and finish and just be tough. And I challenge you guys in the film session, okay, to be tough and play with effort. And you guys responded.
That's what you call a celebration in the locker room right there for the Colorado Buffaloes as they knock off number 2 Arizona 79-63 here at the event center. Voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. By the way, it was senior day. Welcome to Buffalo Stampede. This guy, I think you know him, haven't bad. He's not, that smile on his face right now, he's not going to leave till about 2042.
No, it's not. It's not.
How fun was this one for you on senior day?
This was really fun. Just, it was fun just to be out here in general and fun to get the win, obviously, but to have my friends and family all around, it was beautiful.
You've been the elder statesman on this team. You and Eli, kind of the 2 scholarship guys have been the seniors, and then Eli gets hurt, so you're kind of carrying all the water then for this team. And this young squad, I asked you all back, and he told me, yeah, these young guys are keeping me young, by the way. How about that for a moment?
They are.
What did this game say about this team from a kind of a toughness and test of fortitude standpoint?
It says we have a lot of fight in us, honestly. It says, no matter how many times we get knocked down, we're going to get back up.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most thing that this win says about us.
I think any fan out there, the Buffs lose on Thursday to Arizona State. You guys were like you were playing in cement out there. How does a team go from that kind of performance and 48 hours later to this?
We just knew we had to play better, play tougher, and play more together.
Yeah.
And that, the game is really simple. It's really simple.
Right.
So you just try to simplify it.
Isn't it amazing, though, Jeff Bastille, like the former coach here, always used to say teams have to have a will and a want to, right? I think that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
When a team plays with energy like that, there's an intensity there. It's amazing how that effort just covers up whatever other flaws there may be, right?
Yeah, when a team plays with energy like that, it's infectious almost. Everybody's like, oh, wow, clapping.
Yeah.
Clapping is a good way to, relieve some of that stress and some of that anxiety and pressure. And we were just clapping, high-fiving, and hugging, so it was all good.
Though the Buffaloes get the win 79-63 as they knock off number 2 Arizona here at the event center. Let's hear from head coach Tad Boyle after the victory. Pass to KJ in the corner. Walker pulls up. 3 ball is on the way. Right between the eyes from downtown.
Boy, the difference between 2 nights is sometimes incredible when you coach young people. You guys were in here on Thursday, most of you, and how angry I was. And as angry I was that night, I'm as proud tonight, because we beat, make no mistake, we beat a really good basketball team. And Arizona was, maybe they were due for a letdown, I don't know. I think we had a lot to do with that. Our energy level tonight on offense and on defense was off the charts good. And it wasn't on Thursday, but we beat a good Arizona team. I've got great respect for Tommy Lloyd, and they're legit. They're a legit top 5 team in the country. So kudos to our guys. And on senior night, it's hard to write a script that's better than this, without a doubt. So Colorado basketball is a step in the right direction for us.
That's head coach Tad Boyle after the Buffalo's victory over number 2 Arizona. We continue with Evan Batty, who, by the way, when he stood up on the scores table afterward and talked to the crowd after, for his senior comments, he told us he was going to come back here as the head coach. You had any negotiations with Rick George yet?
Not yet, but I'm sure I'll be hearing from him soon.
I know you want to keep playing, and you should keep playing.
Yeah.
But when did you start thinking about coaching? That's probably the second or third time I've heard you mention something like that.
You come to a realization, in your life that, when you're a part of a big group and part of a thing that's bigger than yourself, it's not about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's about the next generation. It's about the kids that come in. It's about just, furthering, the school, and furthering, the progress we made. So that's why I want to continue.
And I think, and you've always been a guy that has been concerned about others and giving to others and encouraging others, that kind of thing. And I suppose that probably sometime during your college career, you realized, a coach can have an enormous impact upon young men, right?
Exactly. That's all I want to do is impact lives and, just create, the next generation of leaders, So
one of the great moments at the end of this ball game. So Evan, just before he got up on the scores table, because the other 3 seniors had all talked, and Tad Boyle sent it to a video, and it was McKinley Wright, Deshaun Schwartz, and Tyler Bay. You're 4 guys you came in with as a recruit here.
In the dorms.
Yeah, what did that mean to you when you saw those fellas up on the screen?
When I saw that video on the big screen, I just started crying because I miss those guys dearly. They helped me through a really troubling time in my life. It made it okay just to make it to where I can struggle and make it to where I can have difficulty and still be okay and still laugh with them and still joke around with them, and those guys mean the world to me. They know that.
One of the great moments at the end of the game. So Colorado gets a rebound and they work it down to the other end of the court, and I'm watching it and watching the clock count down, and I thought to myself, where's Evan? And I turn around, he's standing right back over here on the end line in front of the C unit down there. Tell us what you were doing down there.
I was waiting all the people to come because we didn't have fans last year. On the previous years, we had upset wins over Oregon, USC. We stormed the court. I was like, I got to get one my last time here. So. Well,
it's not over yet, by the way. They got one more regular season game at Utah next week, then the Pac-12 tournament, and then who knows what's going to happen. Congratulations.
Who knows?
That's Evan Batty, one of our favorites of all time, no doubt about that. Coming up next, my partner Scott Wilkie is going to join us as we continue breaking down the Buffs win over number 2.
Time flies, man. I appreciate everything y'all done for me, all the love and support y'all showed me. It's been a quick 4 years, but nowhere I'd rather be than Boulder, man. Best fans in the nation, man. Appreciate everything.
Yeah, Buff Nation! Man, this school is giving so much to me. To be here right now, to be able to give this to y'all is unbelievable feeling, man. I love y'all. Thank you so much. This team is amazing. What do you say?
My dream is to be the head coach here. I'm going to achieve that dream someday, sometime. I don't know when, but I'm going to do it. And I just appreciate all y'all, coming out to the games. Y'all been great all year. The crowd, y'all been great all year. I'm so in love with this school, and go Buffs.
It's always emotional when you get those senior comments after the final home game of the year, but especially when you knock off number 2. Buffaloes take care of the Arizona Wildcats, 79-63. We continue on the Stampede. My partner Scott Wilkie, voice of the Buff, and voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson here. What do you want to say about that one? That was amazing.
That was a lot of fun tonight, and to knock off a team like Arizona, who I think is Final Four capability.
Legitimate national title contender, yeah.
And, we beat them, and it wasn't them having an off day. It was us beating them.
Yeah. A lot of times when somebody knocks off a highly ranked team, it's because they come out and maybe they hit 14 3-pointers or something. Colorado didn't do that. In fact, the Buffs shot, they missed their first 11 3-pointers. Scott, this game came down to grit and intestinal fortitude and fight and all the things we talked about.
Yeah, and kind of the Tad Boyle way. Since he's been here, they hang their hat on defense and rebounding. Tonight they beat the best rebounding team in the conference by a couple rebounds. They had a lot more fight and their defense was amazing, shutting down one of the best teams in the country offensively.
Yeah, keep in mind Arizona came in averaging 85 points per ball game, but shooting 50% from the field. Colorado holds them under 40%. They only scored 63 points. The defense was phenomenal.
And only 21 in the second half.
That's right. And by the way, the Buffs went plus 21 in the second half to win by 16. The defensive end. Let's go to Tristan Da Silva. He's a guy, Jabari Walker gets a lot of the pub, so does Evan because of his place in CU lore, if you will. Tristan, I've always thought he's going to be a special player when it's all said and done. Scott, he's blowing up from a player standpoint, just maturing and expanding, but his defense on Benedict Mathurin tonight was outstanding, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Benedict Mathurin's a first-round pick. He's athletic. He can shoot the ball. You saw him go back door tonight. You know, he's hard to defend. He doesn't stand still. And he shut him down pretty much tonight. He had 12 points at halftime, didn't score the rest of the game. 3 for 12 or 3 for 11 from the field. Tristan da Silva's 6'10". He can guard a guy in the wing like that.
Yeah, he's got length. He's got great feet. We saw that in the offensive end a couple of times. Now, after the Buffaloes knock off number 2 Arizona by 16, we heard from some players after the contest, and obviously they were having a good time. Drives down the paint, comes to a jump stop, spins, steps through, goes up with the left hand. Oh, another!
The plan was to storm if we won, so that kind of caught me off guard. Like when that happened, I got scared. I was like, "What's going on?" And I wasn't prepared. I wish like I would have had my head on the swivel, but I got hit from every which way. It was amazing.
It felt good, obviously, because you thought you don't beat number 2 in the country every day.
True.
But I just say once like I settled in a little bit and I got like more comfortable, I felt better, and I just went from there.
I think Bari said it in the locker room. We've been in this situation, you know, a couple months ago at Arizona. And you know, we said to ourselves, we can't let this happen again. You know, basically. So we went out there and gave it even more than in the first half, and paid off. We watched a lot of film after Thursday night. It was kind of frustrating because we had such a good run before Arizona State, and then they come into our house and out rebound us, out tough us, all that. And coach was really big on that, being tough out there, and I guess that's the main thing that changed today.
There's some post-game player comments as Colorado knocks off number 2 Arizona. We continue about partner Scott Wilkie. The senior aspect of this tonight. You know what Evan means, and it was great to see Ben and Ersic and Will Loughlin and Elijah Parquet talk to the crowd. But you know, the crowning moment was Evan Batty getting up there in the table.
Yeah, you know, Evan loves to be in front of a crowd. You know, he's not nervous. He's charismatic and everything, and you know, like you said, he wears his emotion on his sleeve. We see him cry all the time, but he's not embarrassed by it. You know, he's almost happy to show himself to everybody.
Yeah, he's become a special player. Now, the numbers he puts up, and we mentioned this during the radio broadcast, he, by the way, is the winningest Buffalo in terms of being on the court and playing. Ben Mills has got the record for wins during a career. He didn't play in many of the games over the 92. Evans now got 86 or 87 wins that he's played in. He's got a special place in Colorado.
Yeah, and it's always not him on the stat sheet, you know, tearing up the stat sheet. You know, he's done a good job in that respect, but it's more his emotion, his leadership, and his love for the game and love for people that people will remember.
All right, now here's the thing that Colorado's got to remember. When you play with this kind of intensity and kind of fight they had out tonight, they can play with anybody in the country. I mean anybody. I don't care if it's Arizona or Gonzaga or Duke or whomever. They can play with anybody. They got to take this on the road now this week to play Utah. Then go to Las Vegas in the tournament and play with the same kind of intensity and fight that they did here tonight.
Yeah, and Salt Lake City will be tough. Like Coach said, that'll be their senior night. They'll be hyped up for that. Their crowd will be behind them. So they're going to have to bring it on Salt Lake City on Saturday, or they'll you know, go home with their tails between their legs.
Yep, without question. Buffaloes will pick up win number 19 of the season. Think about the job this staff has done. You go back to the first game of the year, Montana State. Buffs win in overtime. Montana State's, by the way, gone on to win 21 or 22 games. People are thinking, uh-oh, it might be a rough year. I think this might be Tad Boyle's best coaching job he's done. They're on the verge of another 21 season.
Think about how much players have come along. We talked about Tristan da Silva, how much better he's playing now. Elijah Parquet got better as his career came over here.
Yep.
Players get better here, and that's what the main thing you want from your coaches, make your players better.
Yep, what a night it was tonight here at the Event Center. Colorado wins 79-63 as they knock off number 2 Arizona. This wasn't the only victories going on here for the Buffaloes. The CU women also took 2 over the weekend as well. We'll talk women's hoops next here at the Buffalo Stampede.
We're at the CU Event Center. Holly Shag, yes! Doesn't stop the ball. Look at that block by Telly. Miller with the three-point try, and it is good. How about that, Miller? Got deep and scores. Pretty Savali. How about that? So that'll do it.
Well, there's the end of the Buffaloes' victory over Oregon last week here at the Event Center. Of course, they went on to beat Oregon State over the weekend. 2 wins, 20 wins in the season. Head coach J.R. Payne, we're back here on the Buffalo Stampede. Nice weekend for the Buffs.
It was a great weekend for the Buffs. Yeah, no, we were thrilled to be able to play at home for our final weekend. Great senior day, 2 wins. We've never swept the Oregon, so it was awesome.
So 20 wins, that's always a mark for a college basketball team. You want to get there. What an achievement for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's an incredible achievement. And to have the type of veterans that we have on our ball club this year, we expected that. That was part of our goals. We knew that we were capable, but really cool to finally get to do it.
Is that something you talk about before the season? You talk about win totals ever?
We don't. I mean, you know, you kind of look at your season or preseason. This is where we think we can do, you know, here and there. But I don't think anybody really wants to jinx themselves. You know, coaches, we're all very superstitious. Yeah, so we don't want to jinx ourselves in that way.
Getting a sweep like that, because you consider where Oregon State have been in recent years. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment getting both of them.
Yeah, and you know, people share stats and stuff with us after the game. I don't think we'd beaten Oregon State in 11 tries.
Wow.
I think it had been 5 years since we'd beaten Oregon. And so, yeah, I mean, it's great to be able to do that.
Ducks get the victory, and we can talk about the Oregon State game here a little bit as well. On a senior, there's always a lot of emotion involved in that.
Senior Day was very special. You know, it's special every year that you're able to honor your seniors. This year was very, very special to be able to have a large group, you know, 5 of them, having Annika Jank come back. It was just really neat, and to be able to win always makes it even sweeter.
Is there, you have to settle those seniors down a little bit before a game like that? Because they're thinking about, this is the last time I'm ever going to play.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing. You know, I actually talked to our seniors before the game or before, you know, shoot around and said, we're all about business. You know, when the game is over, then we get emotional, then we celebrate, but we got to focus on the job at hand. And they did a really good job of that.
So the Buffaloes get a couple of victories. They take care of Oregon and Oregon State. After the victory over the Ducks, we heard from a couple of players.
8 on the shot clock. Finau.
We was in the circle. We was like stay together. Like we talked about how we've been in this position so many times and we've been on the other side so many times. So it was just important for us to learn from the Oregon States and the Arizona States and actually put together, you know, a winning effort at the end of it, because I think we give great effort every night, but we've been on the other side and not getting the victory. So I think we just focused in, and we knew, I guess, the experience of being in this position so many times, what it would be like and what we needed to do to finish the game out.
I remember mentioning that as soon as it hit overtime that it was 0-0, you know, and just to come out from the break and just do what we do and just stay composed and just defend, especially because we knew how important this game was, and we managed to do that.
There's Jalen and Sela after the Buffs' victory over the Ducks as we continue here for a couple of minutes with J.R. Payne. Back to the senior thing. You had Annika Jank come back.
Yes.
That's awful special. Talk about the reason behind that, and how did she receive that news when you told her?
Yeah, so last year during the COVID year, you know, we didn't get to have any fans in the event center, as everyone knows. And Annika Jank and Maya Hollingshed were our 2 seniors last year. Maya had already decided she was going to come back for a 5th year. Annika had decided she was going to, you know, enter into the business world and start her life after basketball. And so we asked Annika, would you like to come back next year and have a real senior day? And she was excited about that opportunity. Annika meant so much to this program during her 4 years. It's just a great teammate and player. So it was really special that she and her parents got to come back.
All the seniors are special for a coach, undoubtedly. But I want to ask you about Maya, the way that she has come, and you and I've talked so many times about her. She comes here and she's a 17, 18-year-old young girl, and now she's a woman and she's grown up and become one of the better players in our history, top 8 in scoring. What are 2 about Maya?
Yeah, just Maya Hollingshed has grown as much as any player I've ever coached. You know, on the court, her numbers speak for themselves. That's been really remarkable. Off the court has been equally remarkable. You know, to graduate, to impact our community in the way that she has, I really believe that she is set. She's going to have a great future.
Yeah, she'll have obviously a future playing basketball for a long time,
I think she's going to play
right?
basketball for a long time. I hope she does. She's a heck of a player, but I also know that she's capable, you know, of really handling anything that comes in her.
Did you get the thank you from Tam for setting the tone on Saturday?
Yes, and we should have. No, how exciting, you know, for us to have a great senior day, and then for the men to have what they experienced against Arizona. Just an unbelievable day for the Buffs.
All right, and you know the way basketball works. Now the regular season's over. Now you put that to bed because now the postseason's here, right? You're in Vegas on Wednesday, the number 5 seed versus number 12 Washington.
Yeah.
What was the thought about the tournament?
Well, I mean, we played Washington last year in the postseason, and it didn't go very well for us in Vegas. So we are truly dialed in, we're locked in, we're excited for another opportunity to play.
Looking forward to that. The Buffaloes, the 5 seed, when they win. See how I did there? When they win on Wednesday, they'll play at 1 o'clock against number 4 seed Arizona on Thursday. Coach, good luck in the postseason.
All right, thanks.
All right, J.R. Payne and the women are out of the Pac-12 tournament. Coming up next, had a big weekend of skiing. Andy Leroy, head coach of the Buffaloes from skiing, is going to join us next. Well, it was a great weekend to be a Colorado Buffalo. There's a tennis victory as the Buffaloes took care of the Iowa Hawkeyes right here in Boulder. Back in the Stampede, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, Andy Leroy, ski coach here at CU. Big weekend up in Steamboat. I got to make sure I get this straight. It was the RMISA Championships. It was the West Regional and the Nelson Memorial. Did I get all that right?
I believe so.
It was a lot going on up there, wasn't it?
Steamboat was hopping.
How was the weekend? Take us through it.
It was fantastic. We had great weather, except for the first day of GS, but our athletes competed strong from the beginning to the end, and we qualified in some better seeds for the NCAA championships. We solidified a few athletes that needed that last race result, but seeing some people on the podium like Louis Faust at his first podium in college racing, and Emma Hammergaard, it was heart fulfilling to see them ski as well as they did right before the championship coming up. They've got a lot of confidence.
When you're involved in an event of that size, that's a big magnitude event there. Sounds like everything went fantastic, right?
You know, it was. They put on not only the regional championships for Alpine, but added one extra qualifier and a duel. A demonstration parallel for Alpine at the last day. So 4 days up there, 4 days in the sun. Yeah, we need a little rest before we get going again.
He's got good color after being in that sun the entire week, huh? Yeah. All right, take us through the Alpine side. Kind of break it down, men and women, let us know what happened.
You know, from day to day, we started off in the GS and had some very good first runs from almost the entire team. The weather came in pretty strong on the second run, some wind, some blowing snow. Didn't quite put down the results I thought we were capable of after the first run, so lost a little bit on the scoreboard that day. The slalom the next day, Allison Hill, our athletes skied tremendous. It was awesome to see them compete. I don't think the final results were what we are capable of. It seemed to see a few of the athletes pretty hungry in the finish line. Like, I had that. I had one more turn. I would have posted this thing, but in the end, we skied great. I think we're in line for the NCAA championships and just one more week to train.
And this is a time of year where you're trying to peak, right? I mean, you're heading on toward the championships, so you want your best right now.
Absolutely, and I think one of our best at the beginning of the season, Phillip Fordek, he was first and second in our first couple races. We sent him home after the first race in Steamboat because he needed some rest. He was just a little under the weather, so he came back. He's had his feet up. I think he's ready to go next week.
All right, well, there's the Alpine. We'll talk Nordic in a minute. Also over the weekend, lacrosse got a victory as they took care of Ohio State right here in town.
And in goal today for Colorado, 13 saves for Grace Donnelly. Grace, you grew up in Big Ten country. You play the Buckeyes today, and you showed up big. Early on, there were a lot of big shots that you fended off. I know they had a nice third quarter, the Buckeyes did, but fantastic work today. What was going on for you today? How was your defense working? Tell us about your experience out there.
We were pumped up, coming off 2-0. We wanted this 3-0 win, so our defense was ready. We were pumped up, and offense played a great game. And overall, we got the job done.
You play on that defensive end. You did a fantastic job holding the Buckeyes down today. You get to watch from a distance players like Sadie Grozier. She had 6 goals today. What are you seeing this season with the balance of defense and offense through your first 3 games for this team?
Oh, it's unbelievable, especially with Sadie down there. Offense really knows how to, work the ball around, move it, stay patient, stay confident and calm, and just get those shots in.
Well, congratulations to the CU lacrosse team as they get that victory over Ohio State as we continue with Andy Leroy here talking skiing. Okay, we talked about the Alpine on the front side. Now let's talk about the Nordic side and how that went for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, the Nordic side, it feels like home cooking to be in Steamboat. I think one of our best athletes, our double champion from last year, Magnus Bowie, he started the year on the podium and he finished this past regionals with a couple more podiums. So I think he's looking in good shape, and I think he's hungry for this championship.
Magnus Bowie, it's like Death, Taxes, and Magnus, right? What makes him so special?
Gosh, it must just be his work ethic, a little bit of pedigree in there, but at the end of the day, he's hungry. He's got to be somebody tough when you see that final stretch to think I've got a chance at this guy.
Nordic is fascinating to me. It seems it's got to be such an internal toughness sport. Am I reading that correctly?
Totally.
You've got to be able to grit it out all the time, right?
Then one of the races is interval starts, so you have a chance to just catch 1 or 2 people or 3 people along the course, but the second day, the mass start, it's everybody all at once. And you're seeing those guys, you know, clawing and scratching just to get to the front, and then there's 3 more laps to just bury your competition. And Magnus is one of the people that have done that.
All right, so Bowie's outstanding. How about the women's side?
The women's side, you know, we've got Veronica. She's back. She's skiing great. Hannah Abramson, we go into the NCAAs as well, and our captain, Anna Dietze. So on the women's side, just as strong. We've had some podiums out of them for the year. This regionals wasn't a blowout event like some of the men did, but I think they're ready for it. I think they're prepared, and one more week, see what we can do.
So now we get ready for the NCAA championships. Now, as we're standing here, we don't know about all the qualifiers. By the time this airs, we certainly will check that at cubuffs.com. You feel good about the opportunities for the Buffaloes?
Absolutely. I mean, I think even the score that we put up at regionals, it was missing Will Koch, who was off at World Junior Championships winning a bronze medal for our country. So a few of these guys coming back, we'll see what the qualification turns out, and yeah, we're excited.
All right, looking forward. Congratulations on a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right, Andy Leroy and the ski team. Outstanding weekend up in Steamboat as we put a wrap this week on the Buffalo Stampede. I'm voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. We'll talk to you next time.